I'm Tom Yamas, in for David. And we begin tonight with what is fast becoming one of the worst weeks for President Trump since he took office. One of his closest longtime friends turning on the president, a man he's known for more than a decade. David Pecker, CEO of the company that owns the National Enquirer, cutting an immunity deal in the Michael Cohen case. A source telling ABC News he helped prosecutors investigating Cohen and hush money payments for two women during the campaign. Cohen pleading guilty to campaign finance violations, claiming he was acting at the direction of President Trump. ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas leads us off.
He's been friends with President Trump for more than a decade, but David Pecker, publisher of the National Enquirer, has now been granted immunity in exchange for his cooperation with prosecutors. A source telling ABC News, Pecker has told investigators he worked with President Trump's former fixer and personal attorney Michael Cohen to buy the silence of women who claimed to have had affairs with Trump, and that Trump knew about the deals.
Michael, what's your message to the president?
Cohen pleaded guilty earlier this week, admitting his role in the scheme, which he claims was directed by the president himself. Prosecutors say the plan to protect Trump began in 2015, just after the billionaire launched his campaign. They say Pecker, in coordination with Cohen and one or more members of the campaign, offered to help deal with negative stories about Trump's relationships with women, specifically assisting the campaign in identifying such stories so they could be purchased and their publication avoided, a practice known as catch and kill. A year later, the Enquirer publisher bought the story of Karen McDougal, our former Playboy playmate who claimed to have had an affair with Trump.
Were you in love with him?
I was, yeah.
And do you think he was in love with you?
He was, yeah.
The McDougal story never ran in the tabloid. Cohen says he worked with Pecker to bury it, operating at the request of the candidate for the principal purpose of influencing the election. Cohen later secretly recorded a conversation with Trump, where they seemingly discussed buying the rights to McDougal's story from Pecker's company.
I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our friend David, so that I'm going to do that right away.
The source tells ABC News Pecker told prosecutors he also worked with Cohen to buy the silence of porn star Stormy Daniels, and that Trump knew about that deal too. The president's own story has been changing for months. This is what he told Fox News this week.
Did you know about the payments?
Later on I knew. Later on.
And the president, furious, Cohen has now turned against him.
Everything's wonderful, and then they get 10 years in jail, and they flip on whoever the next highest one is, or as high as you can go. It almost ought to be outlawed. It's not fair.
With the political and legal implications growing, the president asked about the prospect of impeachment.
I don't know how you can impeach somebody who's done a great job. I'll tell you what, if I ever got impeached, I think the market would crash. I think everybody would be very poor.
All right, Pierre Thomas joins us now live from Washington. And Pierre, I want to go back to that immunity deal with David Pecker. We know prosecutors already have documents from the publisher of the National Enquirer.
That's right, Tom. Tonight, the Associated Press is reporting that the Enquirer had a safe full of documents related to Trump. The question tonight is whether those documents are in the hands of federal investigators.
Pierre Thomas with that stunning headline tonight. Pierre, thank you. Tonight's other breaking